retention is more of like a configuration you do on your compliance. You don't change the interface like this. So I can remember where it is. So retention is basically more of a configuration you do online, that is, you do from the admin side, which is not something that every user can access. So you must be an administrator for you to set up like this retention service to either automatically delete emails, to either automatically archive emails. So it's something you do from the admin side. So once that is configured, let's say for example you want to configure auto archiving, and you say this is what I'm looking for. So and you say you want to auto archive emails that are 5 years old and above. It can be done by your admin. So all your admin needs to do is create a retention tag. Create a retention tag. It could be either a personal one. So you see, these are tags that have been created. There's something wrong with these tenants. I would have created a fresh one here, but you see that there's no plus sign to create. So there's something wrong with tenant. This test tenants. But basically, these are the tags. So you can say, okay, I want you to delete every 1 month. I want you to help me delete something from a particular location. Now that's why it's called personal. The reason why it's personal is because you want to apply it to a specific folder, a subfolder. It's not default. So anytime you see default means it's applying to every section of your mailbox. Personal, you want to personally apply it to a particular folder, so you create it. Default, you are creating it down. Once I create it, you should apply automatically to every folder. Now this particular one says that any email that is 2000 days older and above should be automatically moved into the archive mailbox. So once this is done, you create a policy with it. In the policy, you select the tags you want to use. That's what the policy is basically about. It's a house for the tags. So you select the tags you want to use, and then once that is done, you apply it to the mailbox. So if you click on, let's say you click on this mailbox now, and you go to mailboxes, you go to manage mailbox policy, you will see it there. You see, this is where you can select. You see that all those retention policies you saw there, you see it here. You select it and now you apply it to the mailbox. Automatically, what Microsoft will do is, if it was archive you select, it will create an archive mailbox for you, and it will start moving emails there. Now, the good thing about it is that you can still search that archive. It will be added to your Outlook. Let me show you how it looks. Don't open this my mailbox, but let me just show you how it looks. So once that is done, in your Outlook application that you like, you would see that archive mailbox there, and Microsoft will just be automatically moving that configuration that you specified in there. My mailbox is big, so that's why. So that's basically how it works. Okay, that's opened. Let me bring it back here. So this is how it's called online archive. Can you see this? Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
So this online archive at the online archive, these are archive mailbox that were automatically created by Microsoft, because I created a configuration that says, okay, once an email reaches 2 years and above, please be moving it in there so I can decongest my primary mailbox. So that's how retention works. And it's not just confined to Outlook on the web alone. That policy, regardless of the tool you are using to access your mailbox, would be would apply. Now, this is even a perfect example. This is an example of how, as a remote worker, you should not have your mailbox if you want to optimize your performance, your email should not be like this. Who can tell me why? My class be this. Who has an idea why I said this is not an ideal way?
Okay, so Victor, apologies for interrupting. I just wanted to also clarify. I'm happy you've been able to speak on email archiving as it relates to retention period. For instance, I can say emails that are maybe 2 years old, create an archive for it and just archive it. But I want to clarify, you mentioned 2 plans. You said there's plan 1 and plan 2. Plan 1 is about gig for the Exchange Online, and plan 2 is 100 gig. So I want to find out, the archiving, does it take part of that space, or archiving is unlimited outside the 50 and 100 gigs?
Yeah, so that's another advantage of Exchange Online. So basically, each of these mailboxes now are 50 gig. So if you have Exchange Online plan 1, your online archiving will be 50 gig. If you have Exchange Online plan 2, your default online archiving is 100 gigabytes. Now, with Exchange Online plan 2, there is an extra feature that comes with that, and it's called auto-expanding archive. We don't digress, so we are talking about remote work. The auto-expanding archive basically allows you to have up to 1.5 terabytes of archive space. So that's Exchange Online plan 2. That's outside this scope of our class, but that's basically it. It's not unlimited. For plan 1, the default, so it's not going to be taken out of your space. Let me add that's the question you asked. It's not taken out of your default 50 gig space. It's basically going to be creating another space for your 50 gig for Exchange Online plan 1, 100 gig for plan 2, and up to expanding archive for plan 2. Plan 1 people can use auto expanding archive, but it will not work. After a while, it will stop working. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, the way my mailbox is housed is not optimized for remote work, is because I have so many shared mailboxes connected to my mailbox, and each of those shared mailbox also has archiving enabled. Now, what that does is that it takes up space of my OST, which will make my mailbox very slow. It will make my Outlook application very slow. So usually it's recommended that you have few shared mailboxes that are auto-mapped. As another discussion, because you can have shared mailbox, you can have permission to them, and they will not be auto-mapped to your Outlook. So that means they don't automatically add themselves to your Outlook application. That way, it can improve the performance of your Outlook application. So I just want to digress a bit. We also have a community of like minds where you can ask questions. You can learn about our different services. You can always learn about when we have free class. I think Uki had already dropped the link, and we're having like one of the first of its kind event, Cloud Techie event this year, and I would like to especially invite each and every one of us on this training class for that particular event. It's happening this year, and Wookie will also paste the flyers and the links to register and also to volunteer. It's going to be a very beautiful one, because we'll be giving out different freebies, different things that can help you in your cloud journey this year. You will meet with different, not just home and abroad. You will meet with different people home and abroad, different MVPs, MCTs, different people who come and talk to you, and you will gain an invaluable knowledge that can help you in your cloud journey. So Buki would also talk more about that before the end of the session. Is there any other question?
Hello?
There was a question in the chat. Can you hear me?
Yes. Before Oluwole will ask, you take everybody's question. Let me look at the chat.
It also seems like the person has
answer.
dropped off.
Oluwole, calm down. Let me answer that person's question.
I think the person left the chat though, but there's a question there already.
Since the person is not available, let's listen to Oluwole. We'll go back to the question.
Oh,
So Oluwole,
okay.
Oluwole, please shoot.
I'm so sorry if I'm like dominating the question part, but the training is a bit timely for me, and that's why I'm asking these questions. So just please bear with me.
Using our AWOF to get answer.
No. In fact, we can even move further from AWOF. We can even move further to the next stage. Yes, I don't mind.
Yeah,
okay, so my question is this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want you to. I want you to just advise now for a startup that has let's say between 50 to 100 users in terms of staff strength for the first, let's say 2-3 months, and intend to scale to about 5,000 users in the next 2-3 years. So I want you to just advise on using because obviously Exchange Online seems to be cost effective, because you've said you don't need to start installing servers or worrying about the firewalls.
Exactly.
Worrying about the firewalls or the routers and all that. So it seems to be cost effective. Then it seems to be reliable because it's being run by a standard organization like Microsoft. Then in terms of security and all that. So I just want you to run me through the process. If a startup that intends to like scale from about 100 users to about 2,000 to 3,000 users in the next 3 years, what processes are required and to achieve that? I don't know if you get my question, because this is a real life scenario that I'm currently handling for a client, and that's why I'm asking that question. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And one thing, so just to advertise my company the more, Dynamics Consult can always help with scalability. We have top-notch guys that can make it a very seamless process. Now, let's go back to your question. That's just to digress. So, in case you need help, you can always reach out to Roki, to my CEO, and it's cost-effective. Also, we don't charge much to help. So, now let's go back to your question. Now, so scaling from 100 to let's say 2,000 now. Now, one thing you should note is that without an enterprise agreement, the maximum license you can purchase is 300. So that's one roadblock that you would first face. Without an enterprise agreement, you won't be able to purchase more than 300 licenses of, let's say, your business basic, your business standard, your business premium. So if you want to scale, one easier way is getting a Microsoft partner that can help you, that already has an enterprise agreement and is licensed to sell like the services, and you reach out to them to help you purchase more licenses, because first thing you have to consider for scalability is the licensing. Secondly, you also need to understand the concept of, does this mailbox is this mailbox something that needs to be managed by a human being, or it's something that one person can manage, let's say 4 mailboxes. So in that one, what I'm trying to say is that, for example, if you have a department and that department needs a mailbox, there's no need for you to purchase a license for that. You can create a shared mailbox for that particular department and have users manage it. So you also need to put that into consideration when you want to scale, so that you don't spend on what you don't need to buy. If this mailbox is important for a user you purchase the license. If this mailbox can be managed by another person, you create a shared mailbox. So that's another thing that can help you. Now, when it comes to the security aspect, we have what we call, I'm going to be answering your question with the question in the group. The group says, how can you use Exchange Online to manage email flow and prevent spam for remote users because of how rampant it is? Yes, spam is now very rampant because the business to email scams, Yahoo boys are perfecting it seriously. So the security, the Exchange Online protection is very good, because once you have Exchange Online, it comes with that protection. Now, you configuring it and the services or the advantages you have is dependent on the licensing you have. The bigger the license, the more features you get. But by default, there's an anti-spam policy. By default, there's what we call a standard preset and a strict preset. Those two presets now are more advanced and more strict security policies that you can apply to users. So, for example, there was a scenario I picked last week. The CEO of the company was targeted with thousands of spam emails. Now, one way for us to mitigate that was to enable the strict preset security by Microsoft and apply it to just the president, because the person said other users are not targeted, just the president is targeted. And the reason, you know why they're targeting the president now, so they can gain access to his mailbox. So they will send spam emails with multiple links so that he will lose guard and click on it. And once it does that, they gain access to his mailbox, and they can use it to commit any kind of fraud they want to. But with the strict preset that comes with the Exchange Online protection, you can decide, okay, these targeted people, I know their position is sensitive. Now I'm not talking to Oluwole. These guys, their security should be stricter than the normal users. So you configure that strict preset for those group of users. That's how flexible Exchange Online is. You can decide, okay, for these people, this type of security I want for them. For these users, they are still generic users. Even if their email is hacked, there's no loss to the company. You can decide that, okay, they should have the default security policy. So that's how you can help. You can scale both the security aspects, the licensing. Like I said, you can also do that based on your business needs and having an enterprise agreement. And I think we offer licensing. I don't know, my boss will talk about that. I don't know much about that, but I think we do. So I don't know if I've been able to answer your questions more, Oluwole.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Victor. Thanks. You did. Thank you very much.
No problem. Is there any other question? I've answered the one in the group. So basically, the default policies help you. You also have the ability to configure it to how you want. If you want it to be more strict, you can do that by yourself, or even use the default one Microsoft has created, or the strict preset policy. That one, any form of bulk email like this, it is blocking it, it is deleting it, it is sending it to a quarantine. It does not even have respect. So I just tell people that once they configure it, they should monitor, because if you don't monitor it, you just notice that even legitimate emails, Microsoft is blocking it because maybe their domain has failed one integrity test, or their domain has been used for something in the past. So Microsoft can be configurable to your business needs and can help you block spam. According to, as regards mail flow that she talked about, yes, you have the Exchange Admin Center where you can configure your mail flow how you want. So, for example, if your mail flow is in the sense that you don't even want to use Microsoft for security, Microsoft allows you to do that. In the sense that you can create a mail flow, a connector will be connecting to a third-party security system, and it will still work seamlessly. All this can be done and can be learned in the paid class. Thank you. Is there any other question? Okay, this person says, does multi-factor authentication apply to Exchange Online for security checks? Yes. So multi-factor authentication is not